And welcome. You're to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to splatter my hope and happiness, maximize it wherever I can. This is week number 600 consecutive weeks on the air on camera, show number 1053, I believe. And I'm so glad that people were wrong who said, if you're not going to gossip on the show or rant or political, whatever, it's not going to last. And I'm so glad that they're wrong. And I'm so glad that you're still here. If you've missed any of those 1,000 plus shows, including the wonderful people you just saw in the promo, Classic TV, just had Ralph Malph in again last week. He's pursuing his first love of singing. Please go and listen to his interview, as well as one that I'm very proud of. His wife, Morgan, has Parkinson's disease, and she had only done one interview many years ago. She said she would never do it again with her husband. And guess what? She watched my interview with Dawn and said, I'll come on to your show. So you have to go and get that as well on my free subscribe YouTube channel, where you'll get an alert every weekday morning, like my peanut cashew gallery. Welcome to all of my regulars. They're there already. Orville Nation is streaming in from Portugal. Troy Bocelli from Chicago. So thanks so much for streaming in. And I know you're going to welcome my fabulous guest this morning. I'm so excited and delighted. She's an author, a children's book author, and I have it right here. What beautiful artwork by Amy Koenig. And let me just give you a little bit about her. When she is, a Kansas City-based psychologist who often works with kids who have anxiety. So invaluable during and after COVID. She's a frequent podcast guest, has been on NPR, is frequently sought by the Kansas City Star for quotes and comments on mental health issues related to kids. She's highly regarded, licensed professional counselor specializing in trauma work. Yeah, we do have a lot in common, huh?
Yes, we do.
Her holistic approach reduces the power differential between parents, teachers, and children as a part of a collaborative healing process. She's also a registered play therapist and is level 2 certified in eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Please welcome to my studio, Carron Montgomery. Hold it. Here it is. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here. And very fitting for Halloween, she is... You are dressed up as a...
someone without a voice. Which is quite comical.
It is. Yes. It's perfect timing. I mean, of all the shows to have that happen.
Yes.
And happy Halloween to all that are tuning in, and to my special guests this morning. I decided to dress up because I always dress up. That's the hardest thing for Halloween. People always say, so what are you going to dress up as? It's like, I always dress up. So today, I think this is somewhat of an angel. Is the attempt, or I almost thought about dressing down to celebrate Halloween, but happy Halloween to everyone who is listening now and later. And I am absolutely delighted to bring you someone. I mean, I can't imagine why your phone isn't ringing off the hook post-COVID. I mean, before COVID, I'm sure it was too. But certainly anxiety and trauma in kids violence is a topic that, I credit my honorable moniker, Oprah. I don't know if you know this, they call me the Asian Oprah. I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. And I credit her with bringing the whole topic of humanness and life and spirituality and the meaning of life to mainstream TV way back when.
Yes.
And certainly with her interview with the princess and the prince, really also another milestone around talking about mental health and making that an acceptable thing to talk about. And certainly the recognition because of COVID, I call it hashtag BC19, the time before COVID, we knew mental health, but it was reserved for the abnormal psychology, or, it was really something wrong with you if you had mental health issues. And I love the fact that we're all recognizing that good mental health is something that everyone really can and should be, even though don't like to shit on anybody, but it is an important topic. So I am delighted to have you here, and that you did it in a way that doesn't add to the stigma, bad mental health, but in a beautiful way. So enough talking from me. Please introduce yourself now in a way that I love to do with my guests, which is, I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? Who are you, Carron Montgomery, and what do you want?
I am a passionate advocate who wants the world to know that feelings are important and normal and here to tell us something, and that we can learn to use them to our advantage. And that it's okay to not be okay. It's just trying to tell us to form a new relationship.
Beautiful, beautiful. Feelings are okay. And there's something so funny. I was just telling her in the green room, I have a children's book called Mom Motor Feelings. So I think we're sisters somewhere along the line. And I do see your publisher and friend of mine who brought you to the show. I just want to highlight Karen Stuth, who is, she actually was my editor. I don't know if she told you, she edited this little baby that became a #1 bestseller. So we go back a little ways, and she always brings me fantastic authors. And obviously, I can tell already this is no exception. And if you can see that, she is telling us the Asian Oprah giveaway today is 3 books. This beautiful book, The Invisible Riptide. So the first 3 people to go to drmarissa.life and put in Riptide or trauma or children, I think I'll know that you would like a book, and I'll get your name and address to Karen so that we can get that to you. I'm sure with the author signing. So my cashew gallery is extremely active this morning. I just want to. You're getting a hello from Orville, and you're a trooper, Karen, doing this interview with her voice.
There's not much that will stop me when it comes to kids.
Yeah. Definitely. And we've got new cashew gallery. Please welcome Odega Outlaw to the cashew gallery, and I welcome you to continue and ask and interact with my author. I love live streaming. Now, what we skipped over, and we'll do this, I'm trying to keep your voice. So let's just do one thing for Gratitude Sandwich. I usually have breakfast with my guests, and we do, and maybe Karen, you can chat in there for her. Certainly my cashew gallery. I ask you to take a bite of my gratitude sandwich every morning on the show as having breakfast with me and as anchoring every day with the top of the bun, gratitude's the bottom of the bun, appreciation. What do you like about yourself as a discipline for our good mental health? So, what's one thing that you're grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for a lot, mostly for my clients, for allowing me into their world and for letting me be their voice, which is ironic because I don't really have one. But they know I will not stop. And they courageously show me what it's like to be a kid in this day and age. And that is what has inspired me to write and talk and do whatever I need to do to help them feel seen and heard. Oh, I'm getting my voice back.
Yeah, I hear
Might be
that.
coming. So I'm grateful
That's
for them.
that's great. That's great. I am grateful for just this platform, 600 consecutive weeks of meeting new, fabulous, interesting people and getting to provide them with a platform to share uh, their unique talents, gifts, and abilities, including their voice. And let's see, what gratitudes do we have here? Well, we only have an LOL from PJ, but I'll let's just go to the bottom of the button now, which is what do you like about yourself? And the reason why I do this is, in short, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to approve of you? And I think in this day and age, especially with the youngins, they
Mhm.
have developed the antenna looking for love or likes in all the wrong
Yeah.
places. Likes literally on social media, which is why I'm very vocal about not even caring about numbers so much, because it kind of takes your eye off of the value you bring no matter what, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
So I like and appreciate that I am determined with my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years, no matter what the numbers are, even though that
Yes.
isn't. Go ahead, Karen. What do you appreciate about
I
yourself?
love that I have a passion and I'm steadfast and determined. And everything that has ever not worked out has made me stronger. And I can use it to inspire and provide hope for all of my clients that anything is possible. And um, the sky is the limit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I've been saying hashtag UP. Let's go up, right?
Yes.
Go high. Let's go up. UP standing for unlimited possibilities.
Yes.
And Karen is
Absolutely.
the chance to bring forward Karen's book into the world. Absolutely. Satyama Publishing is a great place. If you're an aspiring writer, go to Satyama Publishing. She not only publishes, she has great services for those people who don't know where to start and want to bring books into the world. All right. You're getting a little more compassion
That's nice.
from Troy. His wife's voice is outright in an identical way, and he knows how challenging it is. I call
Yes.
it getting in touch with your internal male.
I kind of like that.
But all right, so that's breakfast. I promise you, if you do this exercise for 28 consecutive days to create a good habit, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. So, thank you for having breakfast with Dr. Marissa and her guest, Carron Montgomery. All right, let's talk about the invisible riptide. So, just I don't. Is this your first book? No, I think you've had other
Well,
books.
this is the second edition of my first book.
Okay,
Yes.
so those I'm always encouraged to be. I think there's a book in everybody. So
Yes.
let's start with the whole writing process. Like, did you know when you were a kid that you were going to be an author or even a trauma therapist? All of
No.
this. Tell me what happened to you that you had this discovery for your.
I knew I loved children and I knew I loved connecting. I did not know I was capable of what I have been able to accomplish. And I think when it comes to being a voice for other people, you can find a strength that is so deep that you can do anything. And one of my favorite things is to go into schools and say, when I was your age, I had no idea what I was capable of. But if you find something that you're passionate about, you can do anything. And so this came out of a need that I saw, and I really refer to myself more as a storyteller because it is the stories of all of the amazing people that I interact with on a daily basis who let me into their world. And then I get to show everyone else that what they're feeling and seeing is normal. They are experiencing hard things, but they are not defective. And they can learn tools to navigate that and to have a more fulfilling life. And we can always change our brain. We can always rewire to focus on what makes us feel better and do better. And that's our superpower.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have kids yourself?
I do. I have three. Yes.
3 kids. How old are
Yeah.
they?
I have a sixth grader, a fourth grader, and a first grader. So
Fantastic. Were
yeah.
they editors? Were they helpful editors with your book or?
Well, it's interesting. They've been very proud recently. They are very, their friends have really resonated with the invisible riptide and found words. And I think it has made them proud to know that their mom is helping people and helping schools. So they are proud. I was a bit surprised in some ways because they like me to be mom.
That's fabulous. I just open it up. I love doing this, whatever I'm supposed to read. And I'm just
Yes.
gonna this is one page here. And by the way, these did you have the same illustrator for a first edition?
No, so I would say one thing I'm incredibly grateful for is my illustrator. She is become an incredible friend, the most talented person in the world who knows how to bring my story and everyone else's story to life. The first book I actually wrote on pen and paper. It came out of my mouth because it was the voice of all of my clients. And I was so eager to get it out. I had a friend who published, and then we decided to Carron, I met her and we decided we could do it in a way that was going to reach even more people. And Amy was a part of that process.
Yes, yes. Illustrations look nice is the comment from Portugal. He has a question, but I
Sure.
want to just continue on with the book for a second here. I'm just going to read what this says here. I love this is a classroom, and what are feelings? This is done. Carron, I'm going to have you look at my Mommy What Are Feelings book. I'm feeling like a second edition is
I would love to.
indicated action here. Everywhere Stella, and Stella is the main character,
Yes.
correct? Everywhere Stella went, she began to share what she was learning about her invisible riptide. She told her friends, our swirling, whirling feelings help get our attention about things that don't seem quite right to us. It doesn't always mean something is wrong or that we are in danger. It is just helping us pay attention to what we are feeling. And I can't be more happy to hear this because if you listen to me at all for a while, you'll know that it's my BS lately, my belief system, that sometimes we're overdoing the attention to feelings.
Yes.
And that we have a feeling that is definitely not, the most positive thing, and we feel the need to do something about it. And one of my Happy 88 tools is this too shall pass. Like this feeling will pass. I don't really need to have a knee jerk reaction, which usually means I'm going to say something jerky, to apologize for. But I love that. I love that. What are some other key lessons or key points that you would like any teen who is now listening to this, your parents who are going to slip the link for this interview into their podcast lineup? What would you say, like the top three uh, uh, comforting things for every teen or every kid who is feeling somewhat overwhelmed
Yes.
post COVID to know and to hold close to their heart?
I would say you're not alone. And in the book, Stella uses cards. And I always tell my clients, these cards weren't written just for you. They have these words and these feelings because we all feel them. And it's okay to feel this way. What we want to know is how hard is it to get out of that feeling? Part of life is learning to embrace and gain tools to navigate the ups and downs. And for teens, I would say so much of what we see forms our thoughts and it's not real. And so happiness all the time isn't real. And it's helpful to know that it is okay to be sad. If your boyfriend breaks up with you, you should be sad. And sometimes you got to ride that wave and there isn't something that you need to do to fix it. And for parents to be there to just support without trying to fix so that they can catch your confidence in them, that they can move through this and that they can gain these skills.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's such an important course correct, I think, in our society. Boys don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about. Don't be sad. There's children starving in Africa. Like all of these things that tell us don't feel bad. You should feel happy. I talk about not being, if you think you're happy 100% of the time, you're dead. You know, you have to have some semblance of contrast in order to even know that you're happy.
Yes.
So the expectation for kids to feel good or happy all the time is unrealistic for adults as well.
Yes.
But most of the time, though, I do believe that because we have a very weak muscle when it comes to choosing what we focus on, we can fall into that focusing on things that bring out the negative emotions, not negative, the less useful emotions for a happier, fulfilling life. To me, being Eeyore your whole life or a worry wart all your life is not the most useful thing to do with your choice. Nothing wrong with it in the sense that if it's your choice, that's your choice.
And I think this book is meant to say it's never too young to start talking about the purpose of feelings and to understand that over-identifying is not healthy, ignoring is not healthy. And Amy, the illustrator, does such a beautiful job of recapping those points in the book. And I love that it's like what feeds this and what helps it. And our riptide is our body's way of saying, hey, you, something's not right. Let's see what it is. Do I need to connect? Do I need to exercise? Do I need to take a minute and pause and be mindful? Or do I need to say, hey, brain, I know you like what's not going well, but I'm going to focus on what is. And I'm going to grow that part of my brain. And I'm going to focus on building that part. And so I think the riptide is there to tell us everything. Our body is our biggest storyteller. And the reason I chose the swirling-whirling is because the most common presentation, especially for children when they're having these feelings, is headaches and stomach aches that they can't make sense of. And parents can't make sense of them. And a lot of times we go to the doctor and they say, you seem fine. But it's because it's our body's feelings saying, hey, you're ignoring me. And I have something to tell you. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help. But if we don't know why they're there, they're scary. And knowledge is power. So
And the temptation with us these days is our stomach's not feeling good. Our health, let's pop a pill. Let's get that instant
Mm-hmm.
relief. Let's mask
Yes.
or numb out what we're feeling instead of using it as an indication
Yes.
for something that's going on. Wow. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering what this brilliant treatment is today for any of us who are feeling stressed or know people, I don't know anybody who doesn't know someone who is somewhat stressed, particularly our youngin these days, here's a solution. I do have in studio Carron Montgomery, the author of a brilliant book called The Invisible Riptide. I am giving 3 away for my Asian Oprah giveaway, thanks to publisher Karen Stuth of Satyama Publishing. So you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book, and you go to drmarissa.life, and there just put on the subject line free book or Riptide or Karen or Satyama, you name it, you just put it there and I'll know to get your name and email over to Karen. Now, you are tuned into the show, Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and of course, my show podcast, Central. I think I was doing podcasts, 1,053 tells me that I was doing podcasts before they were called podcasts. Yes, you can get all of those on my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe, you will get a free alert every morning. And Troy Bocelli can attest to that, telling you that I'm going on live with fabulous guests like this. Maria from Colorado has joined the Cashew Gallery here, and we are going to go to a question that came out from PJ. He says, do you use eye desensitization at all for dream recall with clients? So,
it depends. And I would say that part of EMDR, which is a mind body, it helps with integrating our natural healing process using our thoughts, our feelings, and our body sensations. And it depends on the client and it depends on the presenting issue. So I say what I do with one person is never the same. So it is a difficult thing to say. Yes, I do it, but it depends on what the issue is, what protective buffering factors they have, and what kind of a presentation they have.
What kind of buffering? I've not heard that term, and I like it. I love learning new things. Say that one more time.
Protective buffering factors. So with EMDR, you're wanting to use the body's natural healing properties. But if you are approaching the process too quickly without resourcing and building things up, you could flood someone and you could cause them to experience more dysregulation or disassociation. So you want to make sure that they have the proper coping skills, which is part of why I wrote this book, is to give people the tools to learn proper coping skills at a young age and a common language so that their parents could use them as well and they can gain them together. So that then when something traumatic, if something traumatic happens, we are able to go through that process faster because we are already equipped to tap into our natural healing powers within our nervous system and our body. And those include people. So the pandemic showed us we don't do well when we're not connected. And Stella says people need people. No one is meant to go through anything alone. I think we preach this idea of independence, and it's really interdependence. We need one another. Our brains love connecting with other brains. When we're upset, we want a calm brain. And in the book, Stella, Mr. Stevens, they make a circle and they notice they can feel the riptide of the emotional current of the world. We feel the energy and the emotions of those around us. And we also feel their confidence in us. So we can use that to give people hope and to help them calm their brains to be even capable of using the tools that they may have.
Interesting. Um, the I like to put the moose on the table. So that's my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room.
Mhm.
So let's just make this real.
Sure.
So someone who is uh, feeling overwhelmed,
Hmm.
who has let's do young adult. I had a
Okay.
question yesterday from someone who's going to school, is a mom with a 3-year-old, is a wife, has all these aspiring dreams of what she wants to do, and is feeling just completely overwhelmed with life. Uh, what would your first uh, recommendation be for someone who is just feeling overwhelmed uh, just on a constant basis? Because that's stress, right?
First,
That is,
I would validate the world is overwhelming. And we get to break it down. And you get to, just because someone else says this is what you have to do doesn't mean you do. What aligns with your values? What is most important? What is in your control? And what can you decide? You know what? I don't need to do this just because everybody else does. I'm going to focus on what I can handle in the here and now, and I'm going to take it bit by bit. I'm not going to look at the long list. I'm going to look at what can I do in this moment to ground myself and be present and tackle one thing at a time so that I can feel the success. But I would definitely validate that our world is putting into our minds that we are supposed to be superhuman somehow. And
Mhm.
yes, we have come a long way, but at the end of the day, we are humans and we cannot do it all. So we have to decide what we are willing to let go of.
Yeah, yeah. That whole concept of um, I am the boss of me is, I
Mhm.
think, an opportunity to learn that or relearn that or learn it for the first time. If
Yes.
we grew up in places where you're only as good as what you do for somebody else, and that is
Mhm.
how efficacy is defined, then it just continues into that. I guess what I call perfectionism is a dis-ease with
Yes.
life because you're constantly trying to prove that you're better or good, better than anyone, or good enough, or good, more than good enough. In
Yeah.
that, we have another question from our resident questioner, PJ Orville Nation. What consequences are you noticing from the COVID experiences in children and families?
There are so many. I would say a big one is just a global fatigue and a sense of being overwhelmed and people feeling not good enough um, because they think they should be able to pick back up, or we're not acknowledging that kids lost crucial developmental periods and our expectations need to change, that we are all doing the best we can and we need to give grace and bring back kindness and just giving that grace to ourselves as well. But I do think people forget that we missed out on crucial developmental periods, and chronological age and developmental age are very different. And so we give ourselves anxiety thinking, my child isn't where my other one was, but they're not supposed to be because they're in a different place and things are different. And really trying to remember that the world is constantly changing and the world of social media has made that change even more rapidly, which is why my next book is about social media, because I feel so passionate about helping people see so much of what we're setting ourselves up for is not achievable, or if we keep on that path, we are going to feel anxious forever, accepting what we can do and what we can't.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, is it better to I guess it's a balance question for me. Like, how much do you talk to your kids about, or how much is it better to talk to your kids about social media, what it is, and the dangers and the benefits, and help with the monitoring of their involvement, or just say no? Just,
Well,
I don't.
I would say that's a lot in my second book, but it is important because it's the Wild West, and we educate our kids about body safety. We educate them about strangers. The internet is a huge thing, and if we don't educate them, we can't protect them. And so it is vital. But that is really a big part of my second book that I would love to come back, and I have so much information that I am dying to share about that one.
Yes, and you're getting some definite encouragement from the Cashew Gallery about that.
Yes.
So I am, and thank you. We have a compliment from a new streamer who has a lot of fans in my Cashew Gallery. Thank you for that compliment, and as well, let's see. Yeah, you got another compliment here. So I'm just but let's not go to the new book without
Yes. Getting to this one.
what we wanted to cover here. I feel Stella's going, hey, what about me?
Yeah.
Right? So
Well, Stella's steadfast and Stella will still talk. Yes. So Stella wants the world to know that feelings have a purpose and that we need each other. And Stella wants us to know that we can gain the skills to get through life. And Stella also wants us to know that people learn in different ways. And a big part of this book was it was important for me to include materials that spoke to parents, that spoke to kids that maybe aren't interested in reading and would look at the graphics. I have a friend who I begged to write music, so there are songs that are in the back of the book. Some people learn better with that, and we all know when we use rhythm and movement, it helps us absorb more of what we're learning, and it calms our nervous system. So there are so many nuggets in this book, and it can be whatever it needs to be for the person. I wanted it to be non-intimidating and approachable, and a resource for parents, teachers, kids, churches, anybody to meet them where they are.
Beautiful. And for that reason, and many more, I am giving you officially Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. And people will tell you that I don't give this award to all of my guests, but for the way that you've taken, I love it when people take their limelight, and shine it on areas of temporary darkness to helping kids cope creatively, positively, productively, happily,
Yes.
in through whatever trauma they're going through, whatever feelings that they're unfamiliar with. For that, I'm
Well,
giving
thank you.
this Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for the people who are tuned in. I see eyeballs continuing to roll into my Cashew Gallery. Someone gave us the finger, not that finger. So thank you very much for all those that are commenting now. Maria says, oh, wait, this one was first. I've never had children, but it's still good to listen to this. It applies to adults, absolutely. Yes. And I was just talking about that. We learn in different ways. It was wrong for my teacher to tell my mom I was bad for not doing what others were. Yes. I think, so I'm going to flip one thing that has been more and more cognizant, and I have a cheerleader right now in my studio. So I'm gonna say to you, I recognize your view of trauma, your view of overwhelmment, your view of mm, negative things that happen to people as if we can stop labeling tragedies, um, crime, even uh, uh, trauma, as things that are completely avoidable. We can live in a trauma-free world. We can live in a tragedy-free world if this changed, and if you changed, and if this group didn't do that, and everything is because of this uh, 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 political party and this political. And so our whole development is this, who's to blame when there's tragedy or trauma or things that we don't like. And I have gone on record, and this has become a stronger point, and I want to see what you think of this, is that when and if we can shift our own understanding that pain in life is mandatory. There's
Yes.
not one life that can escape, nor do we want to. I'm not saying, oh yeah, beat me up, steal from me. I'm not going to that extreme. But what would happen to humankind if we understood that everything happens for our divine and best expansion into becoming the best versions of ourselves, that everyone has that opportunity, and that oftentimes pain is the quickest or best or most intense way of that growth. Speak to that.
100%. Well, I would refer to Dr. Bruce Perry as post-traumatic wisdom. You can use that to develop your character, your depth. And I will tell you, I have failed a lot, and I'm grateful for every failure, because I wouldn't be where I am or the person I am had I not had to learn to go through hard things. And I think it brings back to the book of teaching people water's going to be choppy. There's going to be things under the surface we may not see, but that are real. And the sooner we learn to teach people how to manage them, the more we equip them, the more hope we give them. And when we can give a child our confidence that they can handle something, they can internalize that, and it can propel them towards realizing, I can do this. So often we need someone to believe in us first. And I will say, my publisher and illustrator believed in me way before I did. I would have probably run. And they said, no, you got this. And I looked at all of my clients and I said, I got to do this for you guys. And anything hard I've ever gone through, I wouldn't necessarily choose it, but I certainly wouldn't change it, because it's made me who I am.
Ooh, boy, I just love learning new expressions and nuggets. And boy, this is chock packed today. Thank you so much again. I already gave the award. I can't do it again. And show at least. Maybe the next time you come on with your next book.
Hopefully I'll have a voice.
Well, you have a voice. You're definitely.
Yes.
I have this one comment that instead of walking it out, you're talking it out. The more you're finding that tenure in your voice. And we are still hearing it. So don't stop.
Thank you.
Please don't stop on that one. It is a delight to have author Carron Montgomery in my studio today. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. Please subscribe on my YouTube channel. You'll get an alert every morning, and access to my red carpet playlist, where I've also had the opportunity and privilege of interviewing other brilliant people like Quincy Jones, The Temptations, Halle Berry, John Travolta, and more. Now, we're coming up to the last runway of this show. What have we not covered with Stella, which is my beloved niece's name, in her discovering the riptide and understanding that she does not have to go under every time something happens to her. And if we speak about teenagers, and I keep it real, liking a guy who doesn't like you, having a teacher telling you you're bad, having a difficult home life where you're not getting the encouragement or what you're hoping for from your parents, peers that are cruel, peers that are forcing you to do things that you don't want to do, wanting to numb your feelings. So being susceptible to whatever it is that the internet wants you to be drawn to, whether it's bad language, whether it's hate, whether it's finding an organization like a gang that treats you like you're somebody, but there's consequences in that. All of those things that I just did pretty easily are things that I hear about every single day. And I would ask everyone at this point, if you know of any child that is in that, this is the perfect Christmas present, holiday gift for any family who is looking for a solution that does not involve side effects of taking some medication, that does not involve extensive 10-year, nothing against, certainly, I have a psychologist on the air now. I'm not against, all I'm against is prescribing medication before understanding the root of the issue. And I'm against staying in therapy for 10 years, reliving trauma. Those two things have led me to do happiness coaching instead. But I really want everyone to hear the wisdom of creating your own ability to make good choices for you and your mental health and for your family. So I just gave you a commercial.
Why, thank you. And keep going until you find it. Stella is steadfast and she's determined. And there is someone out there who can help and find the person who's right for you. The fit makes a big difference. Find someone who believes in you and who will walk with you.
Yeah, that's the one theme I forgot to jump off on, isolation. I don't think ever dealt with isolation, hashtag COVID silver lining, in some way,
Yes.
So if you're a person who is not naturally extroverted, and for you, COVID was a permission to isolate, let's just put it that way. And now you're having issues in even wanting to engage, because that muscle to engage is almost gone. What is your advice for people who are listening who they just, now it's become a habit.
Yeah.
I want to just stay home. I don't want to go out and do things with people. I just want to stay home. What do you say to them?
I would say, well, by staying safe, what are you missing? And let's make things small. It doesn't have to be a leap. We want a success. Start small. Start with one little thing that lights you up. And those little things add up over time and become something very big. So start small, be kind, talk to yourself the way you would a friend. Maybe it's just picking up the phone and reaching out. Maybe it's going on a walk and simply waving to someone. Little tiny things add up to something very big.
Beautiful. Doesn't even have to cost a lot of money. I used to go, I used to stand behind the KFC and just bring in the aroma of the fried chicken. Just kidding. Actually, it's pretzels.
And Doing something kind for others actually changes your brain and helps release chemicals to make you feel good. So
Mm,
kindness is free, and it not only helps the person that's getting it, but it helps you. And it's a beautiful thing to pass on. And we're bring back that lost art. Thank people. Say, wow, that was great. Email that teacher. Write a review. Just acknowledge people and let people feel seen and heard. It goes a long way.
yes, absolutely. That's a great idea. I call them drive-by compliments. You don't even need to see the reaction. Just do it for the sake of doing it. I promise it'll make you feel better. And what a great idea. Reviews. We can review both Invisible Riptide positively and my book. And I bring this up because I just saw a wonderful comment. Maria, I love Maria. I have another book I'll have to buy. She just bought my book yesterday. Thank you so much. Anybody that buys my book, by the way, just let me know and I'll send you a free audiobook copy of.
I got a copy.
Really, yes. And yes, you get a copy too.
No, I already got one. I already bought one. I do.
I just
I'm an avid reader.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, you get an audiobook too. Let's see. The illustrator's the best. She's also doing Carron's next book, and I may need to have her do my second edition of Feelings right now. Yes, Maria found someone, changed her life. Orville's saying yes. We're getting a lot of yes. Kindness is auto therapeutic for sure. I would love to be known as the person who put or enabled kind to be put back in humankind. That is
a mission of mine.
It is yours. Okay, so it's a joint mission, yes. to infinity and beyond kindness. Frequent acts of kindness is another tagline that I'm adopting now. I'm just so happy. We're running out of time. Do you have a final word?
Just to help everyone know that asking for help is strength. It's okay. We all need help. We are not meant to do life alone. Our brains are designed to connect and thrive with others.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yay. Let's see. Asian Oprah giveaways. At the risk of you not buying the book, Maria, you deserve to actually get a free book. I gave them away before you popped in. 3 books. I see some takers. I haven't gone to my website to check. Go to drmarissa.life. Scroll down when you see subscribe email, and then in the subject line put free Riptide or free trauma book or free Stella. Free Stella. There you go. Stella. I'm so and your voice is just fine. Happy Halloweeny, everybody.
Thank you.
Safe as you're going out and trick or treating. Hopefully you'll have more treats in your life. This is another fabulous episode. Thank you to my guest, Carron Montgomery. Thank you to my guest, all of you for listening in and chatting so well. If you would do this, is how I sign out of every show. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room, wishing you the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow. Doctor's in the house.
Thank you.